Cursed. Cursed.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome into a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Also, make sure you follow me over on Letterboxd. Just look for Old Man Brad so you can see all my crazy watches I do. And also, look me up over on YouTube. I've started a new series called Discs of the Damned, as well as additional reviews over there. Old Man Brad Pod, go check it out. All right, I'm back with a brand new, well, I don't know why I say that every week. Typically, I'm back with a new movie or a new episode or whatever. But this episode, I'll be talking about the new film that just dropped on digital from Cineverse called The Morrigan. This is written and directed by Colum Eastwood. And I had the chance to chat with Colum about the movie, which is a film about an Irish pagan war goddess that goes after some people. And yeah, I'll dig into it here in just a bit. Before we dive into that, I want to say if you are in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to host a horror screening each month. And we are in the middle of a small little Italian trio, so to speak. Last month in January, we did Dario Argento's Deep Red. Our screening for February, on February 20th, is Mario Bava's Blood and Black Lace. One of my favorite films of his. Well, I mean, gosh, his movies are just... There's a reason he's called a master, the master of horror, because he has some great films. And then in March, we're going to be doing Lucio Fulci's Don't Torture the Duckling. But come out February 20th, we're going to be watching Blood and Black Lace, 10 p.m. Let's watch a movie together. All right, let's dive into The Morrigan.
The records of the pagan goddesses were passed down by the ancient Celts. The Morrigan's true history was essentially eroded. So much so that I believe she may have been a real historical figure, not merely a demon of myth and legend.
Do you believe there could be a reason these men disposed of her in such a brutal fashion?
They feared her return.
If you need help on the digs, I'm really not doing anything, so I need help.
I don't think that's a great idea.
You know, sometimes if you're alone up there, you can feel a presence.
Follow an archaeologist who travels to Ireland to uncover a long-dead tomb. A threat is released, and she will have to fight to keep her teenage daughter from falling under the control of the Morrigan, a vengeful pagan war goddess. This is written and directed by Colum Eastwood. It stars Saffron Burrows, Toby Stevens, James Cosmo, Emily Flane, and many others. And like I said, this just came out on digital from Cineverse, so you can purchase it or rent it wherever you get your digital films. For the most part, I enjoyed it. There are pieces of this movie I kind of wish we got more of, but after talking to Colum, I could understand some things why maybe we didn't. I mean, like most indie horror films, there are two things that usually hold some of them back. One is time. The time that they have to shoot, the amount of shooting days they have. The other is money. A lot of indie horror films really struggle for a budget, really struggle to get funded, to get made, to get, sometimes it's even amazing that a lot of these movies make it. It's one of the reasons that indie horror has become one of my favorite pieces of the horror world to watch, is because of what a lot of these creators make with such little resources, little money, little crew, everything. And the passion behind them, I just love it. I'll kind of dive more into my thoughts deeper on the Morrigan after our interview. With that, let's jump into my chat with Colum Eastwood, and I will talk to you on the other side. Set in Ireland, a group encounters a vengeful goddess in The Morrigan, which is available everywhere now. I want to welcome in the writer and director of the film, Colum Eastwood. How you doing today?
I'm great. Great. Thanks. Yeah, good.
I know you did a short film of the Morrigan previously. What attracted not only you to this story, but to turn your short film kind of go to the feature film route from there?
Yeah, I mean, I was researching for I was more established filmmaker than me, and he was trying to do a different sort of bigger Irish myths, all-encompassing Irish myths, which I thought was really really cool. It's tricky to pull off, obviously, and I sort of read up on the Morrigan, and she was to me the most interesting character. And then I went off and did the short film, and it did really well. A lot of people really liked it and stuff, and they're kind of like, "You should do a feature of that." And I was a little bit resistant at first because I just really liked that it was just a single like little blip, and then yeah, about I don't know 10 years later we actually went out and shot the feature film because I kind of wanted to I wanted to feature more of the mythology in the short film because it doesn't really touch on it, and then so with the feature I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and bring the Morrigan into the modern world and see what she would think of it and how she would react to the characters and stuff. So that was kind of the main motivation.
Your short film, because I watched a short film as well, it's a little more self-contained kind of a story as the feature film. It's a bit bigger, a bit more things kind of going on. What were some of your big challenges to, say, moving from that short to, okay, now we got to make it a bit bigger, a bit more of, like you said, more of the legend, the story behind it?
I think the big challenges, I mean, I would say this is nearly the case for every filmmaker, is, what budget they'll give you, how much time you have. I had a script that I really, really loved, and I cut it down, and then we were about to go at a slightly higher budget and somebody pulled out or whatever. And it was just like, right, we're just going to do the best we can here.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, so for me, constantly the challenge is time, kind of budget. And I really wanted to see the sea and the island. And so I ended up just going off with a friend of mine after the shoot on a boat, and we just like shot ourselves. So we shot quite a lot of stuff actually, because you like taking the whole unit miles out on a boat and everything. Like it would have looked better, it would have been slicker probably, but you just couldn't do that. So it's weird. I kind of thought maybe I wouldn't be doing as much of the guerrilla stuff on this one, but I kind of did it. Like I went off in a storm and everything by myself to try and get some stuff. But it's just one of those things that I really wanted to get the landscape in it. I really wanted Ireland to be in it. Like it felt like it had to be that way if it was going to be, an Irish myths story. So
Ireland's always one of those countrysides that's on a bucket list for me to visit. Anytime I see it in a film, I'm just like, this just looks awesome. It looks like an amazing place. And how long was your shoot for this film? As you said, kind of time was one of your challenges.
Yeah, I think it was about, it's a tricky one because it was about 20 days. And then I think we had, a day, because we had like an insurance thing. Somebody got sick. And then there was a few days that was me and a couple of my mates going about doing, kind of bits and bobs, getting some stuff. So I'd say probably 21 or 2 days maybe. So it was like that felt, I don't know if that's normal, but that felt really tight for us because we did have a lot of location moves. And then I really wanted to shoot, the big house with the staircase?
Yeah.
And yeah, which I thought was epic, but it was a little bit outside of our travel time. So you kind of lose, maybe lose 45 minutes every day going to that house. But I kind of thought it was worth it. I just fell in love with that place. So you have to really shoot super fast. It's tough that way. And then for the stunts, we kind of, we built some things and I just shot all the stunts in one day just so we could, kind of afford it. So you're like out of order and everything. But
you kind of sound like, the indie filmmaker of, we just gotta do what we gotta do and try to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it.
Your cast has some familiar faces that people will recognize. You got Saffron Burrows, Toby Stevens, James Cosmo, and others. How was your working with your cast, but kind of getting that group of people together?
Yeah, the cast was amazing. It was better. It was a lot stronger cast than I kind of anticipated. The reason we got that cast is because during the strike, the actors' strike, we got a SAG waiver, and there was a lot of actors who were kind of up for working, but they didn't want to break the strike or anything like that. And then whenever we were, I don't know, just timing was good for us. We were very in early with the waivers and stuff, and we did all the forums and everything. So we had a few actors, and we just approached them and go, listen, it's not your quote or anything, but it's 10 days. Do you want to come? We'll look after you. Thankfully responded to the script. And yeah, they were all great. They're really nice people, because you need that on a, there's going to be cold nights. And, I think as well with the actors, they have to, be understanding that, the train has to kind of move, and, you can't, do as many takes. Like, I can't do as many takes as I would like to, and they won't get as many takes, but it's kind of, we all have to move in the same direction with the overall objective of kind of actually getting the thing finished, and done. Yeah, I was very lucky with the cast.
Many times there's dark imagery, dark things happen. You mentioned before the house, which has some really cool scenes in it, the countryside. How did you kind of go about setting the tension? Because it is a very small cast in small little locations.
I think it's a case of, for me, trying, and it maybe takes, it's one of those trade-offs. You maybe get into the action a bit slower, but it's a bit longer with each character that you understand what their issues are. And I think if you can make it clear that, and you might not understand it, but you can go, well, these guys are going to clash and these guys are going to clash. And then you have good actors. So you kind of set an uneasiness, even just within the character dynamic, before any of the supernatural kind of stuff actually happens. And I think it's having good actors as well.
Yeah.
Like actors, if you believe them, and you can kind of like just let your, suspension of disbelief, just let it go a little bit. And then once you're with them and you kind of either root for them or don't like them, then the tension just kind of comes naturally, I think.
Colum, we're coming up on our time. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with me about the Morrigan. And on our way out, is there anywhere that people can kind of follow along to you or the film to kind of see what's going on, what either you have next or?
Well, Cineverse is kind of releasing it, and you can probably get me on Instagram. I'm not a big Instagram person, but yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting with me, and everybody go check out the Morrigan.
Yeah, thanks so much.
I want to thank Colum again for taking time out of his day to chat with me. Really appreciate that he came on and gave us a little insight into his movie. And I will tell you, go seek out the short film for the Morrigan that he did. I think it was 2017, I believe, is when it came out. I'll find it again and I'll link it in the description below. It's a different tone of a film compared to the feature. The feature is more, obviously, bigger budget, but more of our goddess witch creature, to whereas the short film, it's more of like that grassroots, just a little more stripped down, a bit of a simpler story. So the Morrigan, it starts out with Saffron Burrows is an archaeologist who is presenting this piece to a panel. She wants to get funding to be able to go to Ireland to check out this legend of the Morrigan and wants to find out more about it. The panel approves this, but they give it to one of her colleagues. He gets the lead on it. You can tell she's kind of been jumped over many times. You can see that. And then on top of that, she has a teenage daughter at home. When she gets home, she's like, "Where's your dad?" And he left a note and he's gone. So there's a strained relationship there. So she has a strained relationship with work, with her daughter. And you know what? We're still going to Ireland. She brings her daughter along with her. The big thing I love in this movie, I said it in the last episode, World Breaker. I love the Irish countryside. Ireland is a bucket list place that I want to visit, and seeing it put on film, it just makes me want to go more. So, of course, we're going to Ireland. We get to this place, and it's like this small, secluded island that this man owns, where this place is that they're staying with. And they get in contact with Toby Stevens, who people are going to recognize from many films. And there's one in particular that I talked about last year as part of, I think it was Fantastic Fest, I think is which one it played at. But it's a film called Marama, which go seek this movie out. I don't know if it's out to rent or anything yet, but he stars in that movie, and you have to. It was one of my favorite festival watches overall last year. I absolutely love the movie. But his character in this kind of plays the dark side of it. You know, the one that kind of always pushes back on things. He has a father who's played by James Cosmo, who they're kind of estranged. It ultimately comes to where they need to go get him for help, and he's like, "What the hell are you here?" The Morrigan, what I love the location of this. Like I said, I love the Irish countryside. When our goddess comes, she possesses Saffron Burrows' character Fiona, her daughter Lily. She possesses her. What I love about the Morrigan, he kind of made it almost like a creature. You only see a lot of black silhouettes with these glowing green eyes, which I thought was really cool. There's one scene where they're outside and you just see this darkness. You're like, there is something there. And then you see the green eyes, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. The one thing I wish we would have got, there's some scenes in this house where the Morrigan is coming after him. I wanted more inside the house, but after, talking to Colum, and he was talking about the house, how this house was, 45 minutes away, and it tough to get to because it takes a big chunk of your filming day away. But I would have loved more in the house, like more of the Morrigan kind of chasing them down, hunting them down. The little bit that we got, I loved. And the tone of that in the house. It was almost like a creature feature because she would make these growling noises and come after them. And I was like, oh yeah, I am all in for this. I mean, ultimately, it's a story of this mother trying to save her daughter. They have a strained relationship. And she's trying to, it almost feels like, make right to save her from this thing. Does she? I don't know. You're going to have to watch the movie to find out. I found this to be a very interesting movie that I kind of want to read a little bit more about the legend of the Morrigan to find out more about the creature, about the legend, about everything else. I feel like the movie just kind of dives in just a little bit, just enough to give you a taste, but then doesn't give you everything. And I'm sure that they wanted to do a whole lot more. They wanted to put more. I mean, Colum even said he wanted more in the house. They couldn't. This movie has moments that are great. And then there are other moments where it's like, this is a little off. There's some CGI snakes that I did not like. But other than that, I can kind of let that go. If you love an Irish horror film, I think you should check out The Morrigan. I think you will enjoy it. It's like an Irish, I don't want to say creature feature because it's not really a monster. It's a demon, ghost, entity, goddess. But the way that she goes after them is like a creature, almost like a monster coming after them. And I love that piece of it. I recommend checking out The Morrigan. It was an entertaining time that I just had fun with, and another reason I need to go visit Ireland. Well, that will do it for, my thoughts on The Morrigan. Go check it out. And I have my double feature lined up, what you can pair with The Morrigan. And that is The Hole in the Ground from 2019. This is directed by Lee Cronin, who recently did Evil Dead Rise. This is another Irish countryside horror movie. Just kind of hit right for me. It has a great dark tone. I mean, it was his first film, Lee Cronin's first film. And then he gets Evil Dead Rise after it. And then he's got a mummy movie coming out. The Hole in the Ground with The Morrigan. I think that would pair as a good Irish horror double feature for your night. So go put those on the watch list. Well, that will do it for this Tomb of Terrors. Just make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page so you can get all the content I'm doing. YouTube, I have Discs of the Damned and more from the Tomb, so additional reviews that will drop over there throughout the year. And over here, of course, regular reviews, the interviews that I do, verses that I do with my wife, Tales from Tubi, and of course, my year of Paul Nashi. Just had Frankenstein's Bloody Terror here in a couple weeks. I will be talking to Bede from Bede of the Living Dead, and we're going to be talking The Werewolf versus vampire women. I'm really excited to continue my Paul Naschy watch through. I mean, we're only going to scratch the surface of the films that Paul Naschy did when he's done close to 120 movies. And I'm only going to be doing a total of 20 throughout this year. But just make sure you subscribe to the show and you will never miss anything. I'll be back soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.